Apple Watch, AirPods, iPhone, pencil, iPad. I have bought so many products, man. Any thoughts?
I just bought the shares of this company who makes these products. Any thoughts? Hi guys, Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to a brand new lecture on Apple Inc. Now why Apple Inc? Because if you remember, when I crossed 1 million, I promised you that we will be covering at least one video about which is listed on some other stock exchange other than India, right? I received a super chat from Mr. Ramesh who said that, ma'am, if you can cover Apple stock, why? Because Apple has announced a stock split. All my Indian viewers, please be aware. Do watch this video very carefully because how a stock split, the record date, the ex date, how it is treated in India was completely different than how the stock split is being considered in USA for this stock split. Okay, so it's going to be a great value addition for you is what I definitely believe in. One last concern of yours, I'm sure many people might be having this concern in your mind right now that, ma'am, you were going to go on a break, then why are you recording this video? The answer is that if you have seen the video completely, I had announced that my break starts on 16th of August and will end on August end, right? So this is my last pre-recorded video before my break. I can visualize something like this, that I was going on the 5th gear while I was making YouTube videos at a great speed. Then right now I'm on the 3rd gear. Next week also I have 1 or 2 pre-commitments. That time I'll be in the 1st gear and then I will be on break. So first, before we go on with the Apple Inc.'s stock split, let's understand the concept of stock split, okay? Imagine something like this. There's a big cake, okay? And the price of that cake is 10 rupees. Now, you ask that 10 rupees, that's very expensive. I can't afford 10 rupees, just as an example, okay? But then the company says that, okay, if you can't buy the entire 10 rupees cake, then would you be interested to buy 1/4 of the cake at 2.5 rupees? Okay, so a cake which was not affordable to a normal person, the company now said, we are ready to make 4 parts of that and sell 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2. So one piece at 2.5 rupees. Okay, now what happened is that they put a board outside their shop, cake available only at 2.5 rupees. Now people are making more and more, they're showing more and more interest to buy that cake. Okay, now what has happened? The demand has shot up. Because the demand has shot up, the cake shop is now baking more and more cakes. It's splitting it into 4 and it is providing it to the customers. What has happened? Has the value, the overall value of the cake remained same? Yes. Earlier it was one full piece at 10 rupees. Now it is like 2.5 multiplied by 4. All in all, value remains same. What happens is that it becomes more affordable to people. Because it has become more affordable to people, the demand has shot up. Now you only tell me, because the demand shoots up, even if the person who is selling the cakes, he starts selling that same piece of cake instead of 2.5 rupees, now he starts selling at 2.6 rupees because of the increased demand. Can that happen? Yes, that can happen because anyways people are demanding it. He can increase the price of the cake. Now exactly visualize the same thing in case of a stock market. What happens? Assume that one stock is trading at $400. People might feel, oh my god, $400, that's so expensive. Company says, now we are splitting 4:1. 4:1 means what? 4 parts instead of 1 part. That is 4:1. Now what will happen? Now you can imagine one entire stock of Apple at 400, just as an example, $400. Now they are splitting into 4. So what will happen? Now one piece of Apple stock you are going to get at 100. Has the overall stock become cheaper? Technically not. Has the value dropped? Technically not. It's just that the part, earlier you had to buy the entire cake. You have to buy that entire face value 10 ka stock. Now they have just split the face value instead of 10 to 2.5, instead of 400 to 100. Okay, so I hope you have understood this concept of what happens with a stock split. Value remains same. It's just that you are allowed to buy a small piece. Chalo, so we have understood the meaning of what is split. Now let's understand the key dates for Apple Inc.'s split. But first I'm going to explain it in the Indian context, how things work. Once you're clear with that, then I'll tell you how things are going to work in US. It's pretty different from what happens in the Indian scenario. Okay, first let's understand. Apple says that their record date is going to be 24th of August. Okay, so what does it mean? If a shareholder is holding the shares as on 24th August, which is a Monday, then he will get the benefit of split. Okay, now let's understand there's something known as an X date also. Okay, now what is X date? That is like when the stock starts trading on the X split basis. So if you remember, I told you, had it been 400, then it would start trading at 100. Okay, now what is the X date? In Indian context, generally, it is one working day before the record date. One working day. So understand, what was record date? 24th of August. That is a Monday. So one working day before that. Sunday gone. Saturday also gone. Saturday is not considered as a working day. So Friday, in Indian context, the Apple stock would have started trading at an X date, at an X price basically, on 21st of August itself. Had it been an Indian company. Okay. But in the announcement, they mentioned that the X date is 31st of August 2020. Now, how is this working? What if a person who has bought shares after the record date, that is after 24th August, okay, then would he really get the benefit of this split? Yes or no? In Indian context, he would have not gotten the benefit if he would have purchased it after 24th August, because record date is 24th August. In Indian context, he would not have gotten the benefit of that. Okay, but then if this is the US case, would he get the benefit of it? Let's check this out in the next section. So now comes the real question, what is going to happen in the US context? See, when I was doing research for this topic, I was actually confused for a specific point. Why? Understand. See, record date was 24th August, and as I mentioned, 24th August is a Monday. Okay, it is going to start trading at X split. Okay, I mentioned this very clearly that the X date is going to be 31st of August. That is the next Monday. So what if a person who is going to buy the shares, let us say on 25th of August, 25th of August he is going to buy, has the stock yet become X split? No. Means, what was the price? $400, as I mentioned, somewhere around $440 is the current market price. Let's round it off to 400. So even if he is going to buy after the record date, let us say one day after the record date, he is going to buy it at roughly around $400. Okay. Is he going to get the benefit of 4:1? Record date has gone. Then is he going to get the benefit? So why on earth would an investor buy it at 400? Okay, without any benefit? Okay, and because the share is going to become X split on 31st August. How will this happen? Asa kasa kai? And for that, when I was confused for this, I started madly researching on this, and this is what I found. This is what I found on the investor relation section in Apple's website. Okay, so I've taken this data from the Apple's official website. There is a separate tab known as investor relationship. Okay, investor relations, and in that they have posted FAQs, frequently asked questions, and this was the exact FAQ that I was looking for. I got an answer for this, and let's see very clearly what the FAQ states. It's written, what happens if I buy or sell shares on or after the record date but before the X date? So it very clearly mentions that if you sell shares on or after record date, which is 24th August, but before X date, that is 31st August 2020, you will be selling them at a pre-split price. Pre-split price means you will be selling it at $400. At the time of the sale, you will surrender your pre-split shares and will no longer be entitled to the split shares. Following the split, the new owner of the shares will be entitled to the additional shares resulting from the stock split. Means what will happen? The new buyer who has bought it after the record date, okay, he has bought it after the record date. When have you sold? After the record date. Still, the new owner who is buying it at around 400 will be entitled to the stock split. Now, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that it is as good as record date in US context for this split had zero relevance. As good as, because even if you are buying it after the record date, you are going to get it at the pre-split price, $400, and that too you will still be entitled for the 4 split shares, 4:1. Okay, so you will be entitled for 4 shares instead of 1. So record date doesn't hold any relevance in the US context. Then which date is most relevant is what we're going to discuss in the next section. 28th August. That is the most important date that you have to remember when you're considering the most important timeline in the split date. Why? If you check it on the screen, it's very clearly mentioned again in the FAQs on their website that shareholders are due split shares after the close of business on this date. The wording is very weird, which says that shareholders are due split shares after closing of business. So what does this mean? After 28th August, close of business hours. So on 28th August, after the business hours close, that is what they have decided as the split date. Okay, but it will go X split. It will go, the value will go down on what date? On 31st of August. So last time, as an explanation, in simple words, what is going to happen? Any day, if you are buying even between the record date, which is 24th August, till 28th August, okay, what will happen? Will you still be entitled to split shares? Yes. Even after record date, you will be entitled to split shares. Something very different from our Indian market scenario. Second, what will be the price roughly around that period from 24th of August to 28th of August? It will be around $400. Okay. After 28th August, 29th Saturday, 30th Sunday, so both are off days, and 31st of August, the stock will come down by 1/4 of the price. So if you want to get the benefit of the split, if you want just to buy 10 shares which become 40 shares after the split, the cutoff date I can say is 28th of August. Okay, perfect. I guess you have understood what is split. You have understood how the split works in US context versus how the split worked in Indian context. You have understood the difference very nicely. But still one question remains unanswered is, in the beginning of the video, I said that I own the shares of the company which manufactures these products. And how is that possible? There are 2 ways through which you can invest in stocks which are trading in the US markets, okay? Possibility number 1, you all had told me in one of my previous videos which I had released on Tesla that you can invest through the Vested app. But frankly speaking, I've still not tried out that app. So I won't be talking more on that. I'm not sure how good it is, how reliable it is. So let me not talk about that. But I can definitely tell you another way through which not directly, but you can indirectly invest in US stocks. For that, I have given a detailed post for my YouTube members, wherein I had posted just 2-3 days ago about Motilal Oswal S&P 500 Index Fund. Now, what does this mutual fund do? This mutual fund invests in US stock markets. Okay, basically, it's an index fund, so it invests in stocks which form a part of the US index. Which US index? The name itself suggests it's S&P 500. Okay, like we have BSE, we have NSE, and both markets have their own indices. So for example, BSE has Sensex, NSE has Nifty. Their exchange, one of the exchanges indices is S&P 500. Okay, so like we have Nifty, Sensex, one of their indices is S&P 500, and of course S&P 500 has total 500 companies in the index. Okay, and what Motilal Oswal Index Fund does is that they invest in all these companies which form a part of index. Okay, so whatever money Motilal Oswal, this S&P 500 Index Fund has, out of that, you can check on the screen, they have invested 5.8% in Apple. Okay, so this is the way you can indirectly invest in US markets rather than doing a direct investment through apps which you have not tested out. So one last point is that, believe it or not, immediately after Apple's announcement, within few days, Tesla has also come up with the same announcement of stock split, and believe it or not, they have also come up with a stock split for 5-for-1. So like Apple is 4-for-1, Tesla is 5-for-1. So if you want to know more about this Tesla split, please don't write down in the comment section. I'm not going to make a separate video on that. You can Google it out yourself because I'm going to go on a holiday. Right, my holiday starts on 16th of August and I'll be back with double energy from 1st of September 2020. We'll be back with our bi-weekly videos every Wednesday, every Saturday, 8 p.m. That routine will start on and after 1st of September. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and